Hi, I'm Tess Mosko Scherer, and I'm coming to you today to teach you how to glue watercolors onto board for the Gratitude Project. Now, the Gratitude Project, we put out a call to artists to create 6-inch by 6-inch paintings on canvas. However, watercolor artists wanted to be able to participate, and they work on paper. So what I said I would do is adhere them to masonite boards. So I had one of our volunteers cut 6-inch by 6-inch masonite boards that are clean and ready to be glued. So the materials that you will need for today are the masonite boards, yes, paste, paintbrush to apply the paste, and I'm using a firm brush so that it has a little a firmness to it to spread the paste, a little bit of water, and something to use as a squeegee. So this is a squeegee that I got from show vinyls, you know, when you put up a show vinyl. And so I've kept this, but credit cards or a thick cardboard or mat board would work equally as well. And then you need some wax paper to use on your surface and to cover your paint or your painting when you do the squeegee. I think that's it. So let's get started. It's so interesting. You think that we know how to glue because we've been gluing since kindergarten, but yet we never really learned how to properly glue. So I'm using, yes, it's an acid-free paste. And as the name indicates, it's actually very thick. It has the consistency of Vaseline. It's water soluble, so if you need to make it a little bit thinner, you certainly can. But what happens with it is once you start to work it a little bit, it softens. And so what I do is I just take kind of the top layer of the jar and I mix it. And I start to create a little heat with it, and you can see it's softening already. It's easier to mix. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's a nice little trick that makes the applying, the application of the glue a little bit easier and smoother. So what I've done is I have a piece of wax paper already prepared so that I can work on the wax paper and I don't get glue all over my my work surface. And then I cut a second one that I will use for burnishing. So I have that at the ready for myself. I have my masonite board all set, and I have a label on the back. And so you want to make sure when you ask your artist to make their paintings, if they're doing watercolor, that they adhere their information on the back with a post-it note. And in this case, the artist has done that. So you take the board, and so this one has her name on it, so I'll use that one. And you want to apply the glue to the board itself. So I have my brush in water, so I just dry it off on the side. And then I take a little bit of the paste. They say you don't need to use a lot, but you need to have coverage. And so what I do is I start in the center and I work my way out. And I want to make sure I have enough glue along the edges because they are the most vulnerable part. Those are when the piece is getting touched and installed. So you want to make sure you have enough glue to go around. And if you notice, I'm going in both directions. So I'm starting from the center, I'm working my way out, and I'm going vertically, and then I will go horizontally so that I make sure I have full coverage across the entire panel. And so this is a good amount that's on here. So you put in your paste, and then I put it into my jar of water. And then what I do is I take a damp cloth and I wipe my fingers just to make sure I don't have any glue on my on the surface of my hands. And then I have a dry cloth and I dry my hand. And this way, because you're working with watercolor, you don't want to have anything wet to smear the color. So then you lay the painting down and you line it up, and then you just lightly go over it. I like to use the side of my, the chubby part of my hand, as I like to think of it. And so you want to do that. And then you take and you put your wax paper on top, and then you take your squeegee, and again you work from the center out, and you just take your time. The excess glue will squeeze out, so you don't want to shift your paper around and get glue on your painting. Once that's complete, then you peel this up, and then you lift your painting. And again, you want to hold it not from the edges, but from the center. And then I use that slightly damp area, and I just come along the side, and any glue that might have squeezed out is removed. Then what I do is I take and I put it on top of, sandwiched in between the masonite, and I take 2 bricks and I put them on top of it for some pressure. And I've wrapped my bricks in duct tape so that, you know how bricks get kind of, coarse, and sometimes they get sandy and they don't feel so good. You don't want to destroy the surface of your work. So I wrap my bricks with duct tape, and I've been using these bricks for years and years and years in my bookmaking as weights, and they hold up really, really well. So then I just let it sit for, maybe an hour. I don't think it even needs that long. And as I'm doing them, I build up my pile so that I end up with one pile with bricks. And that's it. All right, well, I hope you have fun, and I am so thrilled that you are part of the Gratitude Project.